Alexander, what do you think of this announcement from President Biden at this stage in the pandemic?
Well, Emily, Genentech is focused on therapeutics, and our sister company is focused on diagnostics. But I can speak on the vaccine donations and welcome them wholeheartedly. This is, I think, a really important move by the U.S. government. We're going to get through this globally, and I think international partnerships are really critical. I would say that vaccines are important. It's also going to take testing and therapeutics for us to globally navigate, and as a country, to the end of this pandemic.
Will there be an end? I mean, some days it seems almost impossible.
Well, I think we'll get out of the pandemic phase. Clearly, this is taking longer than any of us expected it to take, and then we'll face this pathogen being an endemic pathogen. One we'll deal with on an ongoing basis. And that's informing our research right now, where we have 2 drugs, therapeutics, approved as therapeutics with emergency use authorizations. We're also working on an oral treatment. Our hope is that we'll have a drug which can be used at the first signs and symptoms of COVID-19. And this is when this will then become a disease that we're dealing on an everyday basis, hopefully without anywhere near the mortality and morbidity that we're seeing at the moment.
Does that mean we'll never really get to herd immunity? COVID will never be gone?
I think, we have experience with other pathogens like this, and they will continue to evolve, and we'll continue to develop approaches to deal with them. So again, I don't want to be a scaremonger here. I think we'll figure out how to manage this disease as a society, and clearly vaccinations, testing, and therapeutics are going to be really important to this.
Genentech is obviously one of the most storied biotech companies here in the U.S. Talk to us about how you've been involved in the fight against COVID-19.
Yes, we were absolutely focused from day one on COVID. Initially, you look at existing drugs. Could they possibly work against COVID? And that was very much of our effort. We had multiple different drugs. We immediately moved into clinical studies. We were actually mobilized clinical studies the fastest that we ever have done. And out of that, we identified a drug, a medicine, which did receive emergency use authorization and is one of the mainstays of treatment right now. We also entered into a number of partnerships. And one of the partnerships we entered into was with Regeneron to manufacture, develop, and distribute globally their monoclonal antibody in partnership with them. And that's also a very, very important therapeutic option for patients who are diagnosed with COVID-19.
Meantime, there are other diseases that are still a concern, though, of course, they haven't gotten the attention of the last 18 months. Genentech works on medicine for multiple diseases. Which diseases do you think we'll see big breakthroughs in the near future?
Well, I think this is an enormously exciting time for science. Emily, you're very focused on the tech industry, and I think the merging of biology and data and advanced analytics, it's just enormously exciting. As a company, we have a deep knowledge of biology and drug development, but we see now the possibilities around data and analytics. And this is going to open up opportunities in multiple different disease areas. The first, where we can already see the benefits, is clearly in oncology. And we're very, very deeply focused in oncology. This is going to help us discover new medicines, develop them more effectively and efficiently, get them to patients quicker, and then make sure that the drugs are used in specifically the patients that will benefit from the treatment. This is a really, really exciting time, and I think the benefits are going to be across multiple different therapy areas.
Will we ever have a cure for cancer, or will it be something that we can just better treat?
I think we can certainly look forward to a time where cancer is much more of a chronic disease. without the levels of mortality and morbidity. We are making tremendous progress. I don't want to predict that we can cure cancer. We are making progress in many of the most significant cancer types. And again, I think that the biology and the technology and our know-how and multiple modalities, treatment platforms, I think the future is more exciting than the past for oncology.
Meantime, many patients here, around the world and even here in the United States can't afford the medicines that they need. Do you think that the status quo is working? And if not, what needs to change?
Well, Emily, I'm glad you bring that up. The status quo isn't working for patients in the United States. We believe firmly that we have to make progress on the topic of affordability of drugs for patients. This is obviously a major policy topic right now. We are believers that there are solutions that can significantly reduce the costs of drugs for patients, but at the same time, sustain innovation. We've been talking about the potential of the science, the potential to make so much progress across so many different diseases. And we can absolutely come up with solutions that allow innovation, but also reduce costs for patients.